Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Hey everybody, welcome back to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Mac,
I'm Zach.
And I'm Pepper.
and today we are doing what, boys?
Our top 10 new to us games of 2021.
It was a long year, but we made it, and hopefully so did you.
Wasn't long enough. Needed to play even more new, great games.
Well,
He could barely come up with 10.
I'm ready for 22, so,
Why? Because we're hoping to do something a little bit different that may not allow us to play as many new games because we're going to try to go through the whole collection A to Z.
yeah, well, most of those will be new to me.
Exactly. So next year, you got to come back because she's going to probably play more games next year if she does play all of those than she
She
played
might break
this year.
1,000.
Oh, wow.
1,000 games.
Exaggeration Nation.
But I think Pepper played the most new to him games this year.
Yes,
and
here I
I
have
think
it.
How many do you have?
I have it written down 123 new games, which is about a new game every 3 days, which seems impossible to me, knowing how many dry spells I had, where I was like, God, I gotta play some games, that I was actually able to get that high of a number.
yeah,
Huh.
But a lot
I
of
think I
them
felt
were
that way
on,
too.
a lot of them were on BGA,
Mhm.
Board Game Arena, online gaming, and a lot of them were quick, smaller games. And of course, probably I've only played a lot of them one time.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I probably have a lot that I only played once as well, but I think I counted that I had roughly 75 games. I don't know how many that is, or how many every day, or what? No, not every day. How many days that is per game? But I think I had this. What would that be?
Mine
Not
was
quite
easy.
half. I don't know, but 75-ish new games to me, which I think I was hoping to get like 100 new games, so that didn't quite happen, but
Why do you
75 is
do you
still
look
quite
at,
a bit.
Why do you look at you, Mac?
Huh?
Like it was your fault or something, but that didn't quite happen.
I didn't say it like that. There was no tone
I
like
think it was
that. And then how many did you play? You played,
I played 47, which
About
is a
50.
lot of games for me.
yeah.
Considering I don't enjoy learning them.
Let's hope
Learning
she
new
likes
games.
at least a quarter of her games.
Yeah, I was kind of worried. I was like, a lot of the new ones that I taught you, maybe not all of them, but quite a few of them I don't think she maybe liked and appreciated quite as much as I did. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how many or what her top games are. I think I have a pretty good idea of probably a handful of them, but we will have to see.
Yeah.
So with that, we'll let Pepper lead us off with
Now,
his
first-
number 10.
First off, I would say that I love all 10 of these. Usually, maybe you love 5 or 6 of them, and the other ones you just really like. I love all of these. I would say I even love maybe 20 to 30 of the games this year. That's how good I think this year was for me, personally.
Mhm.
My
And like
number-
we said, it's new to us.
New
it's
to
not
us,
necessarily 2021.
I didn't actually count how many were at 2020 games, or 2021, but
Mhm.
probably not many. I had a hard time with the last few spots on this list. There are a lot of games that I really love, but I've only played once, so I don't know if I can really put them on there. And there's a lot of games I played early in the year that I've really enjoyed, but kind of have grown a little, cooled down on them a little bit.
Mhm.
So I had a really hard time choosing what ones would get these last couple spots, and I settled on, for number 10, a game that was in my top 10 games of all time,
Mm.
Seven Wonders Duel.
Ooh. I don't even remember what number was that on that list.
It was 7.
It was 7. I.
What-
So that
what shows
dropped
you-
quite a bit. I mean, it dropped for the year.
It shows you how good this year is as
Right.
well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I loved Seven Wonders Duel. I didn't have high expectations because I did not enjoy Seven Wonders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll try Seven Wonders Duel. And I really loved it. It felt so much different to that and so unique from any other game, especially drafting game. Drafting games tend to struggle at 2 players. Sometimes you kind of just, a lot of times you're handing the deck of cards back and forth, and you pretty much figure out who's going to get what. But this game, with the face-down cards and the ability to possibly take multiple turns in a row, I think that really mixes it up enough to keep me interested pretty much the whole round of drafting.
Yeah, and it's got the multiple victory conditions, which I think helps it where you don't necessarily always just get to after the third round and see who has the most victory points. You might be able to win via some other way too.
Yeah,
so you
really
have to kind of watch your opponent.
Yeah, I really love any shoot the moon type of win condition in games, and this usually they're near impossible, but these ones I think it's pretty evenly split in the games that I've played. That they can be won with military, with science, or with straight up points.
Yeah, this is one that I had played before, prior to this year, but got back to playing a few more times this year, and I think I've grown to like it more than I had originally thought. But
Which is interesting because Seven Wonders Duel was almost my number 10. Almost.
Crossover.
what?
No. Could have been good. But it's funny because I have won that game every time I've played it. So I'm surprised you like it more and more because that means that you've lost it against me every time I've played it.
Wow. Now it's going back down.
Just had to do a little sass. My top 10.
Wouldn't be a top 10 list without the max sass.
I know. So my number 10 just beat out Seven Wonders Duel. I've only played it one time, but the impression was so big on me, and I'm just very excited to try this game again and see what else it can do. It's just got me very excited, and that is, we've had it on our shelf for years.
Oh, I think I know.
Zach has been asking me to play it forever, and it's not that I didn't want to. He just always gets new games, so it always gets over-prioritized. And that is Raja's the Ganges.
Wow. I actually thought, because I know how much you liked it from that's maybe just because you've only played it once, but I actually thought this one would be higher on your list. I did think it would be on your list, I just thought it would be higher.
Oh, no.
But as you were describing it, I'm like, oh, this is obviously Raja's.
I can't believe you haven't gotten it to the table again. Because it was like a month or two ago, and you really enjoyed it. And, of course, a game she really, really enjoys, you're like, we can put that one back on the shelf for a few months.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
we
we
haven't
got
played as much.
sidetracked with the 10x10.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of hurt a lot of my picks this year, is just because we've been so distracted with those 10 games that
And
we haven't gotten to play some of
right,
those.
and most of those weren't even new this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that too. We, especially during these last few months, it's just been a lot of focusing on trying to finish that up.
Which is our own fault, but
Right.
Yeah.
But
so,
yeah, that a really great game. I think
That
was that was from 2 years ago,
2019.
2019.
Well-
I think that was on my top 10 when we kind of did that. We didn't actually make a video on that, but that would have been on my top 10 when I first
Yeah,
played it that year,
for sure.
because I really like that game as
For
well.
sure.
yeah, and well, you knew I liked it so much after that one play that you bought the roll and write game of it, so
Yeah, and we have not tried that yet either. So
sadness.
hopefully that'll be as good, and then you can have it on your list next year.
Yeah. Tune in next year.
Okay, well, my number 10, like you said, I think trying to narrow down these last couple was a little harder for me as well. There were a few that I just missed out, and I'll probably go over those later just to keep things interesting. And my number 10 is my most recently played game. It just made the list.
What'd you play this afternoon?
Oh my gosh.
At number 10, it's probably a shocker. Unmatched Cobble and Pog. I've only played this game twice, but both times I really liked it. After playing like Funkoverse, I thought that some people compare these a little bit, and I didn't really like that as much. So I wasn't 100% sure what to think of this one, but I know people had really liked it, and it's a two-player game, which I'm always looking for great two-player games. And the theme of this one, the Cobble and Fog, just seemed like something that I would like more than some of the other ones I wasn't as into, but now I'm definitely I figured this had to make the list because I've thought about getting some of the other unmatched things based on this, and it was one that I'd wanted to kind of get back to the table. So I was glad that we got to actually today get back to the table, and I ended up winning by doing a pretty crazy combo. So that really helped it. It might not have made the list otherwise.
For 11 damage.
It might have ended up at 11 otherwise, or 12 or something.
Wow, that blows my mind. I can't believe that. I can't. It's just because of what you said. You didn't care for Funko, and I have heard a lot of people compare them. I didn't think this had a chance to make your top 10 of the year. I wouldn't even say top 50 for you, probably. Well, maybe top 50 since you have only played 75, but not top 25 even.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something about it, and it's one of those where your deck is somewhat similar but somewhat different than everyone else's, and just that fact that, well, the games that I've played have been relatively quick as well, so it's one that you could potentially play multiple times if you wanted to, switch off the who was using what to kind of see who won based off of that. But number 10, Unmatched Cobble and Fog.
Very, very cool. On to number 9. This one, it wouldn't be a not show average tabletop top 10 list if I didn't include multiple games in a single spot. And this is the Oniverse of games, which is Onirum, Nautilion, and Arion are the 3 games that I've played in the series. They're all mainly solo games, and I've really enjoyed them. They all have multiple modules, like 4 or 5 modules for each game. They're very quick. They really feel like a race against time. One of them, you're literally racing against an opponent boat to get to the finish line. And like I've said a few times before on the channel, I really love solo games where you're playing against the game and not just kind of a beat your own score or beat the Automa score. I really like to feel like I'm fighting some overlord inside that cardboard. And these really come to life for me.
Yeah, I think I played one of them after you were playing it, but I don't think I've played the other. Or maybe I played 2 of them. I don't remember.
I think, you played Onirum on the app that I got, and I think you played one of the other 2 as well after I played. Yeah.
I guess, do you feel like any of those have, like, times where no matter what you do, you wouldn't have really been able to win?
I think sometimes in maybe the last move or so, but I think the choices can definitely affect the game. I don't think the luck, I mean, obviously there's a lot of luck. Most of them are dice-based or cards when they come out, but sometimes Onirum is probably the worst in that way, where you can just get bad card draw after bad card draw. But I haven't found a problem with that. I think that, the decisions matter. It's quick and it's simple, but it does give you those agonizing decisions.
I guess if you would have had to split these 3, would any individual one have made your list?
This made it easier.
That's what I thought. I don't know if they would have otherwise. They would have been probably in like a top 25-ish.
Yeah.
All 3 of them. But
I think they would have made, a couple of them would have made top 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the opposite of Jesse's number 9 is not a game you play by yourself, but a game you play with others.
Wow.
But it's a legacy game, so that's why it's the exact opposite.
Oh.
So I've played this game a couple of times, 3 times I think, and I just really like it. I think it's super fun. I'm excited to continue playing the legacy, and it is Charterstone. Wow.
I expected to be on your list.
Nice. Zach's like, you're so predictable. But look.
If I would have wrote down a list, I think I could probably get 7 right.
Wow.
I think. We'll see. I would have guessed this one as well.
That
would be 2 for 2 so far.
Wow.
You may be predictable, Mac. Last year we made predictions for each other's and saw who could get the most, and I was predicting for you, and I did win.
Look, okay? Your girl knows what she likes, okay?
Also, where's
Just
my
shows it.
$100 for that?
Wow.
And if you don't want to be like a board game snob, then they probably relate with me more than the two of you. So there's got to be middle ground for these people.
Wow.
No. Charterstone's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yes,
Positive.
it is a good pick.
We'll see if it's on
It's a
your
great pick.
guys' top 10. I don't think we're looking good for that, but I like it, so.
What makes you think that wouldn't make our top 10?
Oh, I don't know. We got some omniverse thing I've never even heard of on yours.
Omniverse, Mac.
It's like the Marvel multiverse, but it's different.
Sure.
It's what it was based off of.
Yeah,
No,
I
that
can't
is
really
a
talk
solid-
about it because it's a legacy game and you don't want to put spoilers out there, so I'll just
Yeah.
say it's a good game.
It's a Stonemeyer worker placement game. It was kind of, I don't think it was like one of the first legacy ones, but it was kind of
that
another
first
take
batch
on it. Yeah.
of things.
Well, actually, there's a little bit of a mixture of MaKayla and Jesse's
You
picks
trying
here.
to out transition me?
A little bit of a combo here.
A solo legacy game.
No. Where I think I'm going to include multiple games
Oh,
in this
really?
spot, and one of them happens to be Charterstone. The game I actually had on my list, if I had to say that one, was Red Rising. But I'm going to include Charterstone as a Stonemeyer game collection, and you can throw Rolling Realms in there as well. But that one,
Are you
just
serious?
kinda
This
thrown in
is such a cheat.
That is a cheat.
how is that a cheat?
Well, I'm just going to throw 3 games into a 1-game slot.
Well, okay, I'll just do the 2 games because
Not Rolling Realms?
well,
You love Rolling Realms. No?
it's fine.
Okay. He's only about the hotness anyway.
Exposed.
Wow, I really like it. I don't. It doesn't make my top 10 because there's really good games this year. But I would probably pick Red Rising if I have to pick one, just because we haven't completed all the Charterstone yet.
Yeah,
So it was either going to be like a honorable mention or it was going to make my list. So I just
That's
kind of
true.
tacking it on there as well. But the Red Rising, I think this will probably be on someone else's list, so we could probably talk about that a little bit more later. I don't know. I'm just guessing. If not, it's a game where you're trying to get a hand of cards that all kind of combo off of each other.
Your
and-
hand of cards is your scoring. At
Right.
The end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and I just find that really fun and unique how each time you can kind of do a little bit of a different strategy thing based on the cards that you have, and they all kind of score, like the same colors kind of score the same ways, but the different colors score differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yep.
just unique. So, number 9, Red Rising, with a little bit of Charterstone.
And a tad of
And a tad of Rolling Realms.
Rolling Realms.
Merry Christmas to all.
Okay, my number 8 it was also, I wonder how many of these were in my top 50. This one was. I believe it might have been right at my 50 spot. It was just barely made the cut because I had only played it once at that time.
You can't put Dinosaur Island on the list.
I should have seen that coming. I keep thinking maybe they won't bring it up this time.
I don't know him at all.
This game is Champions of Midgard.
Ugh.
It is constant dice combat.
It is constant dice sucking. I
It's
can't.
not
Get
what you're supposed to do with the dice, Mac.
Yeah.
They aren't candy.
They don't roll.
They're not there to be tasted.
But
They
yeah,
aren't sugar
They're
cubes,
evil.
Nelly.
They're evil dice. Horse. Oh, jeez. Continue with this blasphemy.
I love dice and games. I love unique dice, and especially when they throw on their unique symbols and multiple symbols. And like here, you have shields and different weapons. And I forget how many. Are there 3 types of dice in the base game? And then with the expansions, they add a few more dice, which I've enjoyed all of those. They all feel unique.
Does it get in the top 10 without the expansion?
Yes, I would say so. But yeah, even the expansion moves it up even more. I loved that the rolls that are bad, and when you fail and do lose, the Valhalla expansion kind of gives you something in return for those fallen warriors.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think, yeah, the expansion adds just that extra level onto it to make it a little bit more replayable, and then also kind of if you do lose them, you're wanting to kind of lose them a little bit more because you can use those. I do like that.
Yeah, I really love it. Haven't played it in a while. Otherwise, I think this could be in the top half of this top 10 even.
Yeah, I like how the worker placement combines with the dice rolling. There's not a lot of them out there that kind of join the combat and the worker placement together, but that's a very solid one.
Okay.
She's swerving us. The next one is Champions of Midgard.
No.
Wow, well, she has not played the big box.
I have not played the expansion, but it sounds like that would make the base game much better because I always lose and die, and I need rewards.
Well, I find too that right away it wasn't as exciting, but I think as I took more risks, it made it more exciting.
I really love.
Because your guys' risks always somehow pay off. You can go with 3 dice, and all of them will roll double axes. I can go, and I'll roll 3 blanks. And it's like, well, cool. Cool.
That's the best part. It's so good.
Yeah,
spreading out the dice.
It's so
pretty solid.
fun.
It reminds
when
me.
They just kill you.
It reminds me of one of your favorite games, Stone Age. And you're like, how far can I spread out these workers still get what I need?
This is the conversation for a different time, but that is no longer probably in my top 50.
Oh, wow.
Top 10 did me in.
Never mind.
10 by 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 by 10, thank you. All right, well, I am going the opposite way.
If you're looking at her dice rolls from that, I can see why Champions of Midgard is not going to make her list.
It's just the dice do not like me.
Dice are not nice.
Maybe next year.
Which is funny because my number 8 is a dice game.
Ooh.
And it is the opposite theme of Champions of Midgard. And that is, instead of a historical fantasy-based game, we are going to outer space, baby.
Historical.
It's fantasy.
Oh, fantasy.
Yeah.
For some reason, I missed the fantasy. I'm like,
Sure. You're going to nitpick my theming now. Okay,
No.
okay. Cool.
no, at first I was just thinking like European history,
No.
Nordic history. I'm like, I don't know that was quite that, but
Oh,
maybe.
Yeah, sure.
It was told through the ages.
Okay, well, we're
This
digressing.
got a number in the title?
Oh. No,
game?
it doesn't.
I
I
think
thought
I
it
know
was
what this
Pulsar.
is. This is another one. Oh, shoot, now that's 2. Oh, I was
2?
thinking something else.
It is Circadian's First Light.
Yes, I was right.
I've only played this game 2-player, and so I don't know exactly how well this game will perform for me over time. Just because I think
Put it on the 10 by 10.
I think 3 to 4 players might wreck this game. I'm also a little sour because they're reprinting it, and there's like an expansion, right? And
Well, there's going to be an expansion next year.
I'm just very upset by these facts. And
I think they're trying to make it so you can buy like the upgrade stuff, but
I don't care.
at that point I'd be like, just get the new thing because I don't know that the price would be that much different at that point.
I'm just very upset by this. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
it's a great game. It's so interesting to roll your dice, take them, place them, and then there's all these different actions you can take. It's funny because it's similar in, I feel like, to what you do to like Artemis Project, but I don't like that game nearly as much as I like this game. And so I think it's just that this game tends to be very rewarding. Like wherever you go, you get something pretty much. You can always get something because the dice, there's different dice faces that you need for certain things. And so it's just very rewarding. I think we both end up with like the 10 card, the placeholder, in order, and then you Yeah, so you just get lots of resources, and it's just super fun. I like it a lot.
Yeah, this one would be my 11 or 12.
Wow, I didn't know you liked it that much.
I do.
I thought I was
like it a
alone.
lot.
I thought it'd be in your top 10.
I like it a lot, but I think it's because I haven't played it in a while, so
Yeah.
that's why I just fell to like 11 and 12. Like, if I hadn't played Unmatched today, it could have easily swapped those two. But it's a really great game. I really like that one a lot, and that's why I'm kind of disappointed in that as well. That new one, but it is what it is. But I'm surprised you think you get a ton of resources. I feel like that game can be a little tight sometimes.
You get a few.
It can be tight, but I don't know. I like the way you manage
you can
it.
You can get quite a few.
And based on what resources you are getting, there are different options for what to do with them. So
And that one's just I think that one. I thought it would be on. I thought there'd be a chance it'd be on your list once you had gone through 10 and 9 already. I was kind of like, because I thought that would maybe be like right on the edge of getting in.
Yeah.
But I did think that had a chance. It's just kind of surprising to me because it's not a game that I would expect you to like.
Yeah.
it really
just look
isn't.
at it. You got Rajas of the Ganges,
Dice game.
Circadians,
Dice game.
and I don't remember the other one.
Charterstone.
Charterstone's got
A die.
a die that you
Wow.
Never
roll
really
to
roll.
determine first player.
Dice, baby.
I wonder. Tumbling dice, number 1. Well, anyway, we'll get to my number 8, and it is a game that I don't believe either of you were that fond of. I mean, I'm not sure if it was like hatred towards it, but I don't think. Like, if I asked you guys to play it right now, I don't think you guys would be jumping out of your seats to go play it. But I really, really like this game, and it is Predaporter.
I've got no comment. No nice comment, anyway.
I figured you would not have a nice comment.
I've only played it
enjoyed
once, but I don't want to play it again.
Wow. It really, it's the game that just feels like it almost feels like you're running a business, and to me, that is just really exciting and fun.
Super relaxing. It's a great time.
It's weird because it's like...
You can't manage your own money. This
like-
is the game for you.
It's a theme of like putting together these, like models with their, and putting their clothing together. It's very loosely a fashion theme on a economic type business like game. So it's not really a theme it's a different theme from a lot of games. I don't know that I know any other games that have that theme, really, that I can think of off the top of my head, but it's really more based on the business aspect part that I
You may
really
mislead
like.
people. You're going to be taking some models and putting some clothes on them.
Yes,
May mislead.
You're getting the different colored cloths
Yeah.
to dress those models.
For those of you who don't know, Zach is an accountant by trade, so this is why his mind works.
And it's
for
very
this
exciting
game.
because when you add those accountants to your staff, they reduce your costs. But no,
man.
I just find it really, really fun. I don't know. I think it's down a little lower on my list just because I don't know that I'd play it all the time, and I don't know that it would necessarily be one that I would introduce to everybody.
No.
But no, it's a very solid game. If you like a little heavier, thinkier games, I would say it's a very solid one. Or if you want something that feels like very close to running a business type feel in your board game, I would say that's about as close as it gets.
I will give you that. If you want a solid, crunchy game, this is a solid game.
Mhm.
It's a little crunchy for someone minded like me, but I will say it's solid.
And you get a lot of points.
Yeah.
If you like games where you score over 200
Wait.
points.
There is potential to get a lot of points. Whether or not
you got quite a
get
few
them
points, too.
is up to them. It's up to you.
There are a lot of points where you're even like, did I do this right?
Right.
It is kind of insane because it doesn't really feel like you're doing that much. But
Yeah. I didn't think that would quite make your list, but I knew you liked it quite a bit.
Mhm.
On to my number 7 is one that I learned on BGA. And this, I'm going to say it, the best small filler game there is. Conspiracy, an Abyss universe game. I loved Abyss when I played it first. I did introduce Abyss and this game.
You didn't want to combine these two into the Abyss world universe?
I almost did, but I thought they were too different.
Mm-hmm.
I stick to the rules. But yeah, I really enjoyed Abyss, and people said this one kind of has some of those elements, but is a quicker game, simpler game, and it really is. It's a very, very fast game. But that was online, so the computer takes care of a lot, but I don't see it being that much longer. I'd say you could play this in 15 minutes, 20 minutes even. Very simple game, but there are a lot of fun choices to make with your upside down pyramid, where you will be placing the different colored lords. What is she looking at?
Nothing.
You haven't even played this game.
I know, that's why I'm zoning out here.
Wow.
Seems
I'm
like if
listening.
Jesse's bringing it up, it must not
It
be
sounds
good.
like a great game. Continue.
There's a lot. I love
I'll be
all the
respectful.
scoring in this game. There's like 5 different colors of cards you can get. You will score the highest of each of them. You will score 3 points for every card in your largest group of a color. And there are keys on the cards. And if you get 2 keys of the either bronze or silver, if you get 2 of them, then you get to take a card from the deck, which they all have unique scoring abilities. And I just felt that all of those were balanced perfectly. I feel someone can go and succeed in one area, and you can make it up in any of the others, which I really enjoyed, and it's a beautiful game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I only played it with you those 2 times, and I liked it quite a bit for how fast it was, but at the same time, the game that I lost, I felt like I did a better move, a better feeling move, satisfying move, than the game that I won. Like, I felt like it was like a game-winning type move, but I did not win, so it was kind of a little disappointing in that way, but I only played 2 games of it, so I can't really say for sure that that's how it is for all the games. But otherwise, I think it's very solid for how quick it is.
Yeah, I really love trying to get something good for yourself by drawing cards off the top of the deck, but you only get to keep 1, and the others go to the market where others can pick them up. So you really don't want to set others up, but you want to get something good for yourself. I love it.
Cool. Cool.
You're going to love it. It's going to be on your list next year when we finally get you on that computer playing BGA.
Sure. All right.
Convinced.
Yeah. Okay, well, I am sticking with not only a dice theme for my number 7,
Dice in Space.
Oh,
but
boy.
a space theme as well.
Oh, it is that one.
They've been kind to me this year, and that is Pulsar 2849.
Imagine if Space Base was this year, too.
Wow.
Yeah. And this one is only lower
Yeah.
because I haven't played it as much as my next game. And so I'm just really excited to keep playing this game and trying new strategies. And I just really love the way this one makes my brain think. So, and you get little
Heavy
spaceships.
Euro, Mac.
This
Heavy
is a heavy
Euro.
one.
Vladimir Suchi,
This-
you're ready for some big time
This does
games.
not feel heavy. No, not to me.
Oh boy, we gotta get some of the Vladimir Suchi games for you.
Yeah. Let's not
Oh,
go,
you're gonna like.
let's not go
Is
crazy.
that Underwater Cities?
Yeah, I think so.
We have that one.
We do.
I have never played it. Years have gone by.
Praga,
there
Kaput Regni, we're gonna have to buy.
aren't any dice in
Prodigal's Club.
yeah.
Uh-huh. It's a great game. You
It
get
is
to
a really
fly
good
a little spaceship around. I love the decision making and how your dice affect your movement, where you can go, the placement of your little tiles that you're giving up things, to take better or worse die. The flying around in this space, I think, is just the funnest. I don't know that's like a new mechanism, but it's just so fun. It really brings the theme through, I feel like. So, there's probably like one strategy you haven't tried with that one, but I just love it, and I'm so excited to keep playing it. So,
if I had played that one more, it might have made the list. I really enjoyed my one play of it.
Mm-hmm. You're going to be shocked. That one did not make my list.
And Unmatched did.
See, but
Here she is trying to impress you with all these games.
See,
You're not putting any of them on your list.
Board game snobs.
I feel like Board Game Snob. I really like that game too.
But
It's in my top. It's in my top 15 probably.
All right. Well,
I really, really love that game.
What's next for you?
Wow, and that's another one that you score a lot of points in.
Yeah.
It's a very solid game, and I was disappointed to not have it on my list because I really, really like it. We just haven't played it recently enough, and I feel like that's it. This is mostly leaning to probably games I've played more recently as well. Sadly.
As per usual, the hotness wins itself.
Wow.
It's amazing he's held on to me for all these years.
Wow. Well, much like the other one where it just feels like a business, this one has another great theme to it. It's one that really comes through the game for me. And it's about running something else, running your other own business, where you keep dinosaurs in a park.
Ooh.
Dinosaur World. I really liked Dinosaur Island when we first got that, and that was that 2019 year as well. That was another really solid year of when I had Rajas and that on my top 10 of that year. And this one kind of takes that Dinosaur Island, the stuff from there, and gets rid of a couple things, but then adds some new things that are really, really enjoyable, where you're actually building out your park with the different tiles and then taking Jeeple tours around the entire park, and things getting less exciting as you use certain tiles over and over again. So you may have a really good tile, but once you go over it enough times, it kind of gets to be worse and worse for you to go over. I found that I don't know if you'd call it rope building necessarily. I found that really satisfying. The just trying to plan out where you go. I don't think I've actually won this game in the times I've played, but there's something about that that's really satisfying and adds that extra level to Dinosaur Island I didn't know was missing from Dinosaur Island, but actually just steps it up even further, and I think it'll probably knock Dinosaur Island down to Pepper levels now. So I'm wondering if that'll even make its top 50 anymore, because if it was already at a 47, I think this one might have knocked it out completely.
We'll see.
All right. Jesse?
It's funny you would say that, because my number 6, it's not Dinosaur World, it is a game that was not on my top 50 list, because I hadn't played it yet, but I believe it was on both of your lists.
I don't know.
Mystic Vale.
Oh, interesting.
The concept is so unique.
Yeah.
And there are a couple other card crafting games, but in this one, it's just so different. You use the cards over and over and over again. Similar to a deck building game, but you do just have like a set of, is it 10 cards or 12, something like that.
Something like that.
So where deck building, your deck gets bigger and bigger and kind of watered down. This one, it gets stronger and stronger, and you really feel the impact of those cards you've crafted. And I think that concept alone puts this game on the list.
Yeah.
I just loved every play that I've had of it. It's so satisfying how it ramps up. You start off with maybe like 3 money, 3 currency to buy cards, and at the end you're getting 15 money, 20 points maybe if you have a really, really good hand, and you fly through your whole deck. It's so satisfying.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really great deck builder. I love that game so much. So I'm really glad you got to play it this year.
You guys were right.
For once.
It seemed like a game Pepper might like.
Is this an agreement at the table?
First time in years.
I changed my mind.
Oh, please.
Terrible game.
But since
Very good.
Since you included 2 Stonemaier games, I'm going to throw in one that kind of goes with this one, Mystic Market. which was the surprise of the year, honorable mention.
I would say it was a surprise of the year. I did not expect it to be as good as it was.
Yeah, both have Mystic in the title, so I'll throw that in there. Great. That's another great filler game, I think. Go look at it if you're interested in that.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like it might just kind of be on the edge of that like mass market type game, but it's actually pretty solid.
Yeah, I think even Jamie Stegmaier made a video talking about that.
All right. Well, we are at number 6 finally here. And I realized
I've mentioned 8 games so far.
Yeah. I realized when I was zoning out earlier that my
You didn't have a number 6?
No, that my list is kind of split into 2 different themes, and I didn't realize that.
Space Dice.
Space Dice. No, and so I'm just kind of interested in how that kind of subconsciously played out, because I would say that the secondary part of my list is dealing with things and mechanisms and items and games that you play with that I do tend to prefer more. So I thought that was really interesting as I noticed that. So this one isn't solely card based, but it does have cards in it, but you also are sailing the waters of the Caribbean, and it's super crunchy. And Zach,
What happened to you, MaKayla?
Zach definitely has this game hacked.
Why?
I really love the
Why am I not getting to play these games?
I really love the way that this one is. It's crunchy. I like the way it challenges me to think. Anything that's like historically themed is typically always a good.
Have you
bet
even
in my
named the
book.
game yet, Mac?
I haven't.
Wait, she might be lying to us. Because there's 2, and they're both by the same person, right?
Oh, yes.
They're both by Mr.
Swerve.
Meester Feaster.
You guys are on to me, aren't you? I thought I could get away with it.
Sort of a card-themed game?
No.
Or card-driven?
This is the card themed game. You do get a ship. It is Maracaibo. So, I love this game. Everything.
Why do you try to get me to play all these games? She loves them.
I did not know.
We want to share them.
I'm just waiting for Zach to say this didn't make his list as well.
I know, right? It's like we don't
What is
play
going
this.
on with
We don't
him?
play this game because it's not in your hot list list. So it doesn't matter what I want. But if you're playing this game, I highly recommend to put sea shanties on in the background because
the best way to
that
play it.
just makes it so much better. I'm a huge fan of
Oh.
Pirates of the Caribbean,
We're
and
getting
so
that one to the table immediately following this
it's
list.
very nostalgic feeling for me. I love it so much.
And I will be editing this video at that time.
I love it. I don't know what's not to like about that game. So anyway,
It's a good game.
You've changed, Mac.
It's a good game.
for the better.
It's to be you and me against him.
And she doesn't like Champions of Midgard. Which is a shame, because that's my number 6.
I wouldn't say I don't like it. It's just not one that I'm super
When she was
excited
so
for.
upset about how far it was on your list. I'm like, oh boy, is she going to be disappointed when she hears that it's
That's
higher up.
because you are so lucky. Like, it's crazy.
Yes. Originally, it probably wouldn't have had a chance of making the game, or making my list, but then as I played it more and took more risks, which I think is what makes the game more exciting, it built up, and it probably would have been on the outside or right in the 9-10 spot, but the expansion brought it up to this level. Just having those extra types of dice, just add, and the Valhalla part where you're getting them for the dead Vikings that you have from the battles you take on. I just find that really exciting, just trying to figure out which different types you should send to each battles, because they all kind of do slightly different things, where I think isn't the one like really strong, but then they're the first to die if they do die in the battle.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, do I want to send him to that, or do I want to send him to something that isn't as risky or most likely for him to die? I just think that's a really solid one that I'd like to get to the table a little bit more.
Yeah, and instead of the sea shanties for Champions of Midgard, you can pop on a 10-hour loop of Diggy Diggy Hole.
That is true.
That's
you
for
can.
Hall of the Mountain King.
That
both.
one too.
That
It's
one
10
too.
hours. We can play both.
Or you can do 10 hours of the Who Wolf Totem.
That goes with everything.
That goes with all games, though. But no, my number 6, Champions of Midgard.
Great pick. I didn't think we would be agreeing the most.
I didn't either.
You know,
I'm shocked that
I liked it after
she's
the
turned
first
into me.
play, but it's just slowly gone down.
Wow.
There's so many better games to play. I eat everyone on my list so far.
Wow. Wow.
All right, Jesse, bring us to the halfway point.
Halfway point number 5 is a crossover.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it's with me.
On this
It's with me.
with Zach. Dinosaur World.
Oh.
I didn't think this was gonna make the list. This whole year there was kind of excitement for this game, but also worry that it wasn't going to stand apart enough from the original, which I have cooled down on a little bit. And I wanted this one to set itself apart, but I was afraid that it wasn't going to enough to even have a chance to make it to the top 10 of the year, because about halfway through the year already I knew this was going to be a packed set of games. But when we got it and we unboxed it, that worry just went completely away from mostly the phenomenal production. We went all in, pretty much, got metal coins and all the screen printed plastic mini dinos in the game.
With all the expansions, all the good
yes,
stuff
right
here.
But yeah, and we played it, and it felt, I thought this was going to be harder, but it actually felt easier. Learning it was a breeze because we already kind of knew Dinosaur Island, and it wasn't too different to where you had to just study the rule book. And it felt less restrictive, even, because you don't have that limit on DNA, and you don't have to upgrade your dino paddocks to put more dinos in there. So that kind of stuff is kind of with feeding meeples in some of the games. I just don't care for upkeep in games. I just want to get to building the dinosaurs and taking a tour of my park, which, like you said, you're building your park, where in the first one you're kind of building your lab more. And the park is just much more interesting, and going on that tour and hitting all the unique buildings in the game is so fun. I absolutely loved it. Any worry that I had went out the window in my first play. It is better than Dinosaur Island, as you can tell, and I think this one will be a lot higher than Dinosaur Island was in my top 50.
Do you think you would tell people that don't have either to just get this one?
Right now, I would say yes, get this one.
Just skip Dinosaur Island completely.
You're not getting me to say that.
And that's a Pepper recommendation.
There you go. Yeah, I totally agree. The only one thing with production that was meh are the tiny numbers that you put in.
The tiny numbers,
Are kind of a pain. But
yeah. And the meeples are a little small.
Yeah.
But again, I do really love that the workers, you get a bunch of them, and they all have unique abilities and discounts for the different colors, which I thought was really nice too.
And you kind of draft them like you do in like Paladins of the West Kingdom, where you get a card that has the different ones that you'll get for that round. Yeah. Got to throw in another Garfield game. Anywhere I can, throw in Paladins. You get it in your guys' minds that you want to maybe play it. Have I changed MaKayla enough?
No.
Paladins, number 5.
No, that's not a new to me game this year, but I'll tell you what, I do have a Garfield game other than Circadians that is new to me, and it is my number 5.
It just happens to be this next one.
It is. It does
Set her up.
happen to be.
Threw her
Look at that. I
softball, lobbed
think
it
he
in
saw
there.
my list. So
Did the 10 by 10 help this one?
it really did, honestly. Viscounts of the West Kingdom is stellar. I think we're to the point now in my list where I can say, like, I love these games. Like, I like all top 10 of the games that I've chosen today, but I love these bottom 5. Viscounts is so much fun, and I think I've just gotten so much practice with it with the 10x10 that I feel super comfortable making decisions, and I know different options. And I think at this point I feel like there are certain strategies that I know you can take, and you're kind of looking at different routes. You can combine them, just knowing that you have to be kind of quick with some of the other strategies to get those cards gone, because you don't want to give your opponent more time with that one. But it's another kind of card game, not really, but I just love that you
It's a
can
bit of a deck builder.
Deck building, yeah.
So that's exactly. So it's deck building. It's got the circle,
Oh,
the
rondel.
rondel play, which you can only go certain ways, and it's so cool. I just love it, and I don't ever feel like it's super restrictive because you can buy cards, or there's always something you can do that's within reach, and so I just
Yeah, I really love that rondel. It limits your choices,
yep.
but you still have a lot of great choices.
Yeah.
And the movement also being the cost of the cards
So
just
cool.
simplifies it.
So cool, and it's gone up to be my favorite of the West Kingdom games. So
Yes, it is my
Well,
favorite.
it only had to beat Architects because you guys don't like Paladins. So not
maybe,
favorite. But
maybe
I
someday.
will say it's probably risen to the top of the West Kingdom games for me as well. I had to look back at my app and saw that I had actually played it twice in 2020, but otherwise it was going to be possibly, it would probably made my list otherwise.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of did not get either Circadians or Viscounts into my top 10 list, but
It's okay, I did it.
but you did it, luckily for me. I thought you probably would, so
Wow.
that's why I didn't. I'm like, okay,
So
I can kind of just leave those out then.
Again.
Hmm?
So predictable once again.
No,
But-
I was hoping. It seemed like you were liking it,
Yeah.
the 10 plays or 9 plays that we had of it.
Yeah, and I feel like we're very evenly matched, and so it definitely makes the game more approachable for me.
Mhm.
Like if I go into Brass Birmingham, I know I'm about to get my butt handed to me. But in Bite Counts, I'm like,
Well, maybe if you played it 10
I
times.
can win that. No, there's no amount of time
Wow.
that I can play that game.
Wow. But no, it's a solid pick, and it's
I know.
also a bit of like a racing game, kind of like Architects, but it lasts. I like the length of how that lasts more than what Architects.
Yeah, it's not really a conscious race.
Mhm.
I mean, it kind of is, but like, there's only so much you can do with the car, to get those debt and the other one cards. It's not like you can just grab it over and over again.
Yeah, it's a little
Gotta
more
wait-
controlled.
Gotta
Yeah.
wait for the card to come out, or wait to be, go up the castle or something. So
Well, now we get to my number 5, and like the last few games I've said, where Predaporter feels like a business game, Dinosaur Island feels like you're running a dino park and really dino thematic, and then Champions of Midgard feels like you're a Viking and you're going out to battle the sea monsters or other monsters.
this is the least thematic game ever.
This next one is also very thematic, and it is my favorite game.
He's gonna swerve us
in
some
this
of these.
theme. Well, I don't know that I've played that many with this theme, but it is exactly what I wanted from this theme in a game. And the theme is pirates, and it's Forgotten Waters
Oh yes.
at number 5. It is not a crunchy Euro game, really, at all. It's more of like similar to a D&D style game where only you are like picking sort of worker placement actions just based off the name of what they have on the different pages, and then kind of doing or making choices based on what it is. It's an app-driven game that I think that's what really gets you into got me anyway, into the theme of the pirates quite a bit. We only played it one time, but that was like a 4-hour game.
4-hour tour.
Yes, it's too bad we didn't get trapped in Forgotten Waters for much longer. But no, this is one that I really want to play again, and I'm hoping to play it with more players. I wasn't sure. We played it 2-player, which is, I don't think, on the box.
Yeah, they kind of add in a dummy player
right.
when you do that.
So yeah, we kind of did
it's a little more to manage.
Right. But no, I think even with more players, this one will still flow at about the same time.
Yeah.
No matter how many players you have, and then you just are able to roll dice a decent amount, which I like as well. You're rolling.
Yeah.
Is it a 12 or 20?
I think it's 20.
A D20, and based on that result, you kind of add it to some of your different stat groups that you have, and I just find that really satisfying to see like the outcomes of that. And kind of just based on which islands you travel to, you go to different pages of this book, and kind of your story continues from there. And I just really, really enjoyed it. I think part of it might be because I went into this with somewhat low expectations, and it met and exceeded it greatly. So,
I mean, yeah.
Number 5, Forgotten Waters.
I mean, the fact that they could throw Mad Libs in there and it works and fits it says everything. That is.
I like that part too. It's just a little part that they add in there that just adds even just that little extra bit to it that really is awesome.
When I saw it, I was like, what is this? I can't believe it worked as well as it did for me. It didn't make my top 10, but it might make top 50 next year. Oh, back to me.
Yeah.
Number 4. Oh boy, these top probably 4 spots. You can tell me any of these were my number 1 game of all time, and I'd say, yeah, I agree.
Number 1 of all time.
That's right.
I don't envy your job of putting together the top 50 next year for yourself.
Top 50 is gonna be a top 100.
His top 10 are gonna be
It's bad.
wretched to do.
Wow.
It's gonna be hard for you to do. I mean,
Yeah. I just think wretched is a
excuse my vernacular.
poor choice of words there. Number 4 kind of includes 2 games as well, because I was
like,
introduced
1 game. Here we are. You guys are like, here's 7 games.
to the base game. Well, it could even include
Be
4
7.
games, or maybe even 10. I don't know how many there are
All
in
right,
this
all
franchise
right.
of games.
Okay.
This is Pandemic. As I've got more into solo games, and this is another one where it's a race against time. You're fighting against the game, and I love this game. Every turn it's a puzzle, trying to get someone from point A to point B to either cure disease or pass cards on to other players, and you have a bunch of character abilities. You can move someone, clear disease better, trade any cards in your hand, all kinds of unique abilities, and then as well the legacy. We are about halfway through season 1 currently, and I've really enjoyed that as well and what it's added. I lived up to all the hype that I've heard of it. I love it. It was in my top 50 games of all time, so it's not a big surprise that it's on this list. But yeah.
Yeah, that's another one kind of like Seven Wonders Duel that I had played in previous years, and both of those actually had gone from games that I was met on to both rising up. And like that one, Forgotten Waters is also cooperative in a way as well, mostly cooperative.
Yeah.
Which is a little strange because, I'm not typically much on the cooperative play of things, but this year played a few more and actually really gotten to enjoy them. So, Pandemic Legacy Season 1, if you really like Pandemic, I would say it's definitely worth playing for even, like you said, we're about halfway through, I think, and I've really, really had a great time with it.
It's just so good. That infection system of infecting the cities, and then when you hit an epidemic, those cards go back on top of the deck. It works so perfectly and so smoothly that it just continues to grow in those cities. I love that.
Okay, well, enough about that game. Got no love for it.
You haven't played it with me.
I'm sure that would not help. Oh, brother. Okay.
In law.
Brother-in-law, yes. But I treat you like you're a brother. All right, so my number 4 is pretty card driven.
Dice and cards.
Again, I am very sad that Zach has not allowed us to get this to the table more this year. Breaking my heart here because I've only played it like 2 or 3 times. But, and maybe that's why it's a little higher because I haven't gone through to experience maybe, some of the other things that I have in some of these games that I've played a little bit more. Look at them puzzling over themselves. I can't believe that it took a while for me to get to this. I was a little scared of it at first, and once I played it, I was like, this is so cool. I love it.
Oh, yes.
From the minis to the cards to the game pieces within. Council of 4, my number 4, is a amazing game.
Number 4, isn't that?
That's kind of cute how that worked out, isn't it?
Worked out.
It did work out that way because I rearranged here about 2 minutes ago.
I would have expected this on your list, but for some reason I was thinking you played this last year.
It's on my list for this year. It's new to me, and I'm
It
pretty
probably
sure,
is, but I was just thinking.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is new to me this year. So, yeah, I love it. So cool. I love everything.
Oh, that's a great game. The building of your system, and it triggers every time you add to it. I love that.
It's beautiful. And then the luck of the cards, I think. I mean, it can be a very frustrating thing, but at the same time, I find it challenging, and it kind of is a great equalizer, I feel like, in that game. So
It's a very, very solid game. I think is that Daniel Tashini as well?
I think. Here,
It's behind you.
We just rearranged our
Right here.
shelves.
Just rearranged it based on the letter.
alphabetically.
Simon Lusani and Daniel Tassini.
Yes. That's probably one of my favorite games from him. We played 3 T type games. I don't know that they're going to make anyone's list, but I did enjoy all of those plays. But that one might still be my favorite one that had him as the designer.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I got nothing bad to say about it.
Good pick.
Great pick. Great pick.
I love it.
Well, okay, like I said for how the theme of the... No, this one has no theme. It's themeless. Or very close to themeless. It is a game with some cards in it. Quite a few cards. Mainly cards.
Bag.
No.
There is a little bit, or maybe a lot, of bidding, hidden bidding in this game.
Wow.
It's one
What
that
else is on your list?
I had originally played on Board Game Arena,
Really?
and then got a copy of this game
It beats Jurassic World.
for...
What else did he just name?
Do you know what it is?
I don't know.
You have no clue?
I mean,
the name is the same as a place
Think
in
of Champions of Midgard.
Endgame.
And think
Oh,
way
yes,
cuter.
of course. Yeah, I knew this was going to be on your list.
Or was it Endgame? No, Infinity War.
Infinity
Yeah.
War.
Not Endgame.
Wow.
Nidavellir! If you haven't not figured it out. But no, this is an amazing, amazing, amazing game. It could probably even be
You
higher.
liked it.
I did like it the one play. I just can't believe it's beating out these other games.
Wow.
It's just not crunchy.
Well, I know it's...
Oh, I love
Wait.
this game. I'm surprised. Well, I don't think I would be pretty shocked if it's on your list at this point. I thought maybe it would sneak into the top 10, like right on the edge. But at this point, I don't think it would be. Maybe. But
There's only 3 games left.
the bidding is something that I would think that you would really like. That's what surprises me a little bit.
It is. It's a beautiful game.
I like the
And
way
then the
they
set
do
collection.
the bidding. Because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
otherwise it just makes
And then
it
being
very
able to trade in chips
fair,
and
yep.
making it better.
Yep.
Because, if you use your 0, you're likely not going to win the bid.
Yeah.
You may tie and then maybe get a better pick based on if someone else also put a 0 on that one. But I just really like how that works and how you upgrade your coins to get better coins. And then just the set collection of those. Like I think I've said, I've said it to both of you. It's kind of what I was hoping Hadaro would be for me. It's not that I don't like Hadaro.
That.
They're not
It's
really
not-
the same though.
It's not quite the
I was
same.
going to say
It's not quite the
reminds
same,
me a
but
lot of Hadara.
yeah, it's not
I was
quite
going
quite
to say
the same.
I'm not going to name that game for some reason.
Yeah, it's
I don't know what you're talking
it's kind of what I was hoping from that one.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
and it's that's not what I expected going into playing it. I had just heard from the Dice Tower that it was a pretty solid game, and I think that was underhyped. It's a
Yeah,
great game.
probably.
It's amazing.
Z. Garcia is wrong!
See, Garcia's wrong, and so are you, because this is a game you should like. You Z Garcia,
I am
Mark.
Z. Garcia!
But that is Nidavellir, number 4.
Interesting.
These three are pretty much tied. So I put this one third.
I thought your top four were
They're
tied.
pretty much tied, but he did put them in an order.
I put this in order to show you how much I like my top two. To show you, because you wouldn't believe that they were on the same level as this
Logic
game.
is this.
My
Wow.
number 3 was my number 2 game of all time,
I knew you'd do something.
Dwellings of Elder
I
Vale.
knew you'd do something stupid like this. I figured you might do this.
This is a perfect game. Not the perfect game for me, this is a perfect game. It is beautiful. We went all in. So.
We went all in. Not initially. But
Not
after the
initially.
fact, went all in.
Yes, so hundreds of dollars can get you a very beautiful game.
Can get you a very beautiful
With
game.
the minis, but even just the meeples, I think those are some of my favorite meeples.
Mhm.
Probably my favorite meeples in any game, that dragon especially. The meeple hats, the very thick tiles, and I love the gameplay as well. Actually, a worker placement game
That you like.
that I like, that I love the
Ooh.
worker placement aspect of it. Building the board out, going out, getting the tiles, which just so happen to get you the resources that you need to dwell in those tiles, and the resources to buy the cards that increase your power in that color, which will then score you more points for everything you have in that color. Everything just kind of goes on a straight path that simplifies it, because I don't like crunchy games, but this one simplifies it enough for me that I have no problem with it.
Mhm.
And the 16 factions, I feel all of their abilities they feel like they break the game.
Mhm.
Like, oh, this dragon can move this far, or do whatever. This wizard can place directly into a spot that someone else is in. It feels like, I wish I had that ability. And they're thinking the same thing about your abilities.
Mhm.
So I love all of those, and I'm looking forward to exploring every single. I don't think I've hit nearly all of them, but I'm looking forward to using every single faction. Maybe we could make a series about it, like Tap Talk.
We could. Dwell talk. We might have to work on that name.
Yeah.
Elder talk.
Dwell and tell.
Dwell and tell. I'm not opposed to that name,
I like that you can.
as long as you join in. I'm sure this is going to make her top 3. As you guys can
I
tell.
like that you can put hats on the meatballs.
You, although you've only played this once.
I've only played it once, and I
Maybe
don't
you'd like
think
it a
it
lot.
was terrible. Like, I won't say that I didn't like it. I won't say that I really liked it based on my first play. It was pretty overwhelming, but
It's combat. There's so much combat that it's not too punishing.
it's not
I love
bad.
it.
It's
Big
more
chunks of points
it's more
consistently
so-
throughout the game.
It's more so those cards, and then that track where you claim colors.
Yeah.
That, along with the board, was overwhelming to me.
A few more plays.
It'll be up there.
I'll be right up there, guys. No worries. All right. All right. Well, my number 3 is much better than Nidavellir. And I don't see how it could be compared to it at all. It is the one and only Hadara. Wow.
Yep, I knew this one would be on your list.
Wow.
I thought you...
It's a good
Did you
game.
like Nidavellir?
I did like Nidavellir, honestly, and I It was in the running
Don't spoiler number 1.
for my top 10. But it did
Well, that's
make
why I
the
didn't want to
list.
say
I've only
anything.
played it one time, but it did leave a good impression on me. But I think Hadara is much better. I don't know. I just like the way it engages better with me, my brain, the way it works. I love the card drafting. Again, card-based. I love the card drafting. I love how you buy the cards, choosing, what to go up, your different options with the statue versus the red thing versus, so all these things, and then having 2 different money or phases, I guess, in one epoch or whatever it is. And I just think that's so cool that there are 2 phases to every round and just kind of how the different phases work. And I just really love this game.
Yeah, it's very rewarding.
Yeah. I need rewards.
It is a rewarding game, and actually, there's another one that's kind of. I think I played this in a previous year, but that's one that's gone up on my list more because we've played it with more players. And this one
And
is
it's
actually
still really good.
This is actually one of the few that I think plays
I
better.
think you refused a game of this last time we played it.
Yes, because it was 2 a.m.
It plays way better at like 3 or 4. I think it plays 5 players. This one actually plays better, I think, with more players.
Yeah. There's
I
more
would rather play with 4 than 2.
Yeah.
card options.
Because, it opens up your options to actually get a lot of a certain color card to make those discounts, because when you purchase the cards, you get a discount based on the number of those cards of that color you already have, which is what really makes the game. So in a 2-player game, there's less cards to do that. So I think that is why it wasn't what I was hoping for originally. When I got it, I wanted this to be like one of my favorite games, and that's why it disappointed me.
Well, don't worry, because it's one of mine.
Good. But we're only going to play it at 4 players.
And this is why I never get to play any of the games I want to play. It's always, hey, Mac, let's play.
Well, now I've got my list of Maracaibo and Pulsar and all of those heavy, thinky games.
Do you really not think I liked Maracaibo? Was that one you
I
thought
did
would be
again.
on my list?
That would have been edgy in there, is what I would have thought.
I thought it'd be on.
Doesn't know me as well as he thought he did.
I said 7 or 8. I've still got 2. I think I can get the last 2 wrong and I get it right.
Wow.
My number 3.
Just because a girl expresses her feelings.
No, Hadara has grown on me as well with, as I said, more players. Then it's a lot better game.
All right, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is one that you do not like.
Shocker. This year's not been good
boy.
for me.
you do not like this game, and I'm very disappointed by it. I'm very disappointed because this one is also.
It feels like
Did you
something.
It
Expect me
feels
to
like
like
it?
something.
Did you expect me to like it?
Huh?
Did you expect me to like it?
Uh,
He hoped.
meh. I was hoping. I was hopeful because you're playing your own game mostly. There's some interaction on the. It's a worker placement game, or there's some worker placement, but it is a castle defense game. After the Empire, it's very, very solid. It feels just like that, and that's exactly what I wanted. That's what I wanted from a board game, and it's exactly it. And it includes worker placement, one of my favorite mechanisms.
I'm happy you're happy.
And also, this is another very deluxeified game, and it's going to become even more deluxeified.
Even more deluxe.
Boys and their toys. I can't even get maples for Pompeii, and here we are.
Order them up, Pepper.
Oh my God, she's crushed her can out of anger.
Get her some random maples.
If they aren't under the tree for
take 'em out
Christmas
of
this year,
all those
we are going to
past
have
Euro
a talk.
games.
I have
Wow.
made this extremely clear to the both of you that this was something that you needed to get me.
Jesse.
Save us, Santa!
But no, after the Empire,
I'll order them myself.
solid.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
I'll do it myself. You got the lava tiles.
It is a very cool production of a game, and maybe playing it one more time might help me out a little bit. But it was overwhelming. I think the board. I like the in front of you piece, but the board piece, I'm like, huh? I don't know.
I was thinking it was probably a little long for your liking.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Good.
It is not long. It is the perfect length, and that is why it is my number 2!
I thought
After the Empire, the theme comes through.
it definitely does.
It really
Phenomenal
does, because
production.
when your castle gets conquered, you're sitting there like, like, yep, that's how you'd feel if you really were there and you were dying.
Yes, when you get sacked.
You get sacked.
It's a phenomenal production. Worker placement in this one isn't as interesting as Dwellings, and I kind of put this one in front of it because I felt bad because I kept this out of my top 10 of the year. I think it was or top 10 of all time. I think it was 11, and I felt bad because I've grown to love it even more, so I had to put it above Dwellings for this. Just for that is a little pat on the back. I do love you after the Empire. But yeah, this one, I love most is how forgiving it is. When your castle gets destroyed, the wood that was in it comes back to your supply. You can upgrade.
It's gotta be forgiving like that.
Yes, it really does. When you upgrade from wood to stone, you don't have to pay the wood cost in the stone. And not only that, you don't lose that wood. It also comes back to your supply. I love that. It allows you to rebuild back up the next round, even. So you're always prepared, and you always feel like you have a chance for the waves of horde. The waves of hordes.
The waves of
groups
hordes
of baddies.
of troops of baddies.
And like I've said, and I'll say it again, best card backs in any game. Stained glass.
I do really like those card
Love it.
backs.
I want it as a phone wallpaper.
Yes, because they're very bright colors as well. Was it like blue, green, and yellow?
I think there's blue, yellow, orange, purple, green.
Very solid.
Interesting.
Amazing game.
Well,
Get it, play it if you have the chance.
Perfect game.
all right. Well, my number 2, as Jesse previously mentioned, I did not play Hadara one night because it was 2 a.m. And I was tired after playing board games all day. And the reason why this game beats Hadara and the next one is because I would never say no.
It beats the next one as well?
No. The first one and the second one beat Hadara. That's why.
I'm going to my number 1.
Why this number 2 is better than my number 1.
We're struggling so hard sometimes. You guys never understand me. Anyway, the reason why is because I would never say no to this game at the table. So.
Do you really want to say that, Mac?
Yeah, I mean.
Do you realize the power that gives us?
I'm
She
very.
will never say no.
You are being recorded right now.
I'm very safe in saying this because it's not a game that you guys are going to want to bring to the table. It's not one that you're going to choose. It's one that you're going to be okay, like, I'll play it. It is a good game, but it's not your level of game that you typically like to play. And I don't know, I think my sister got you this game for Christmas. And like other games previously on my list that were space themed, there is another game on this list that is similarly themed, and
it's by the same designer.
And it is by the same designer. It is Port Royal. So, I love this game.
This was the hotness for you two for a while.
I love this game. We didn't have it to the table for quite a while. We got it to the table recently, and I was like, oh my god, why don't we play this one? It's better with more players, but because we hadn't played it in so long, I just was so happy to get it to 2-player and just get it on the table. I just love that the back of the cards are the coins, and that you're pushing your luck, and that you're trying to do some set collection and points at the same time, and it's just really simple and really fun. I feel like it's just really great.
Yeah, I've only played it once at 2-player.
Not as good at 2-player.
I enjoyed it, and I've been wanting to try it again, but it hasn't really been on the top of my list. So even then, I don't think it would make it, but it was a cool game, and I really like that coins on the back of the cards.
Yeah.
I love things that are simple and make the game easier, like that, similar to the movement and the cost and Viscounts.
Yeah, so that's why I'm safe saying it, because I know that these two aren't going to be like, hey, let's get Port Royal to the table today, which is fine, you know.
We're going to video a gameplay of Fort Royal after this.
So.
She's like, I made a mistake.
I did make a mistake. These two are just so manipulative.
We need to find another game and name it Port Royal.
Anyway, I love this game. I realize that they might not eventually. I know you haven't played it much, but it's one that I feel strongly about, and I'm going to stick to it.
No, that is a really fun game, and I think I just always forget about it, but we should probably play it more often when we have like 4 or 5 players, because I think it plays better with more players, and it's still very quick, even with that player count.
Yeah.
So, yes, that is a very solid choice. I would have had that one down for you as well, so I already exceed.
That's because I literally told you 2 weeks ago that I love this game. I was like raving about it.
And I already know what your number 1 is as well, and I know what Jesse says. I did not know what it was originally. I was very confused, and then all of a sudden it hit me what it was, and I'm like, obviously that makes sense.
Well, I don't know what else is on his list at this point.
Oh,
so.
Well, if you think about it, you will figure it out.
Yep.
I don't know.
My list or his?
Yours.
You don't know what's on mine?
I'm assuming dwellings. You already said after the Empire.
Wow. She's trying to spoil my number 2, which is Dwellings of Eldervale.
Wow, this is wrong, Zach.
It also did not make my number 1 spot.
You put it at number 2. Like I said, these are tied for me.
Well,
and you put this at number 2 because I know what's your number 1. This is a crime.
I would say my top 5 are all very equal. It just depends who wants to play at the time or how many players there are.
I'm calling the police. This is a murder. It's a
It's
crime.
a murder.
I'm going to be shook.
Arrest the savage.
Don't say anything. You can't give it away.
Camera.
I'm going to be shook.
No. Dwellings is still... I mean, it is also a number 1 game of the year as well. It's so great. The production is amazing.
When you spend hundreds of dollars.
Wow. Well, sometimes you gotta do it to get the top production of all time.
Can't
it must be done.
Pompeii meeples.
But we have the miniatures with the bases that have the monster noises.
Yeah, we can get monsters with bases that roar.
But Meeples is going too far of an upgrade.
Sadness.
No, it's an amazing game. It's worker
beautiful.
placement. You can put in the tiles out, and just that combination, like you said, of trying to like occupy those tiles, putting the houses, dwelling those workers out onto the map permanently is just amazing. I was very hesitant about this one, but I'm glad you pulled the trigger because I flooded you with messages about whether or not we should get it.
That one and After the Empire.
And both of them. I just wasn't sure. I was like, I just don't know if I'm actually going to like these games.
Where would he be without us?
I would be in a place with not as many great board games.
He just wouldn't be fed if I wasn't here, so.
That is also true.
All right, Jesse, what's your number 1?
Number 1. This might be a little recency bias since the game is literally we were in the middle of setup before we started this video.
Gotcha.
So I'm actually playing this game right now as we speak. That is Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. And I am so sorry. I put this number 1 because I am so sorry for everything I've ever said about Gloomhaven, or Goonhaven as I called it. I was trying to hate it because I thought that I would be cool if I did that because it's number 1 on VGG. But I did.
But this is different than Gloomhaven.
It is different.
Right?
It's a lot easier to set up. It's got a spiral book with the scenarios, which makes setup a breeze. Which I love that. And I think it teaches you the game and the Gloomhaven system so well that I think I would recommend this to maybe not next step game, but the step after that. Like
Third step.
one and
After trains, ticket to ride.
If you start tripping, that's
then
when
you
you
gotta,
get into this.
Now this is bringing your other foot up to that same step. That's this game. No, I think you could teach this to about anyone, even. I mean, not anyone, but anyone who's interested in games. I think it teaches the game that well. I love how the characters upgrade through the campaign. I have completed the campaign, even, and I wouldn't mind at all going back and playing it again, or even playing a random scenario. And they have it so perfectly that you can take, well, I've never actually tried it, but you can add in more players because it's printed on the map perfectly. The monsters and where they'll place, and it has slots for just like 3 lines of either black, white, or yellow for 2 players, 3 players, and 4 players if you place any monster there at all, and if it's an elite monster. And just to pack that much information for very variable setup in such a small, easy-to-read icon just makes me so happy. And you can mix characters of level 8, level 2, and they have a little mathy system to come up with the level for the scenario, but I love that they give you that option, that you can really do whatever you want with this, which I think that's kind of a bad thing of some legacy and scenario. You kind of feel like you have to stick to the same players and the same player count throughout it, and with this one you don't. And just the modification of your deck and your modifier deck, it feels big every time you get a new card added into your hand or taken out of your modifier deck. I love it so much. Another perfect game.
From what I remember, it was very solid, and that's why I was hoping to get to play it again before we made this list. But then we were ready to make this list. So,
Why are you looking at me like this is my fault?
not your fault.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah,
give
we
me the
needed to get
side eye.
this list made, and I still don't think I don't think it would have made my top
No,
10, but
I don't think
I liked it a lot more than I thought it
You
would.
need to,
as well.
you need to get your even level 8 cards.
Yeah.
There are huge
I'm guessing if
moves, huge moves you can pull off. Satisfying, epic.
Yeah, I'm guessing if I played it more, it would probably be higher on the list.
Okay.
Well, let's get to your game, which I think is very obvious. I'm
Okay.
going to be shocked if it's anything else.
Look,
I would be shocked if it is anything else.
look, if you guys,
Shocked!
if y'all have been around the channel for a while,
I don't even know. I
actually,
haven't
you know
put
what?
any
If
thought
you're
into it.
still watching this video, first of all, thank you very much.
Yes.
Bet this year.
And and everything. But if you watched any of our other videos together, you know that maybe I'm not as crunchy as the two of these guys. You know,
All you've had is Alexander Pfister,
I feel
Vladimir Suchi. I'm waiting for On Mars,
I feel like
Lacerda to show up.
I'm more of an approachable gamer. You know, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
I am too.
And I feel like my games are probably a little bit more mainstream than you two, your picks.
Do they end up in Target, kind of like Jesse's game?
Actually, this one is not in Target.
Mainstream.
What?
Me.
This one actually has a dice theme in it. It is Grand Austria Hotel.
You're such a liar.
Dang it, I really thought I could get up with that one. No, my favorite game of the year
Wow.
is Red Rising.
Oh, that's right.
And I thought that Zach was a big
Couldn't think of it.
Stonemeyer head.
You
but
didn't know?
I couldn't think of it. Yeah, obviously, that's it.
Wow, obviously.
I was like, what's cartographers
Obvious.
this year?
Wow.
And then you had mentioned it before, so I'm like, did you mention it? So I think I kind of wrote it off from that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, Red Rising's out of the picture.
Well, if I'd have known that it was going to be your number one, I wouldn't have said it'll be on someone else's list.
Yeah, I was like, well, okay, just spoiling it all.
I didn't think it was your number one.
What do you think my number one was?
I would have probably go back through them.
Yeah. Rajas, Charterstone, Circadians, Pulsar, Maracaibo, Viscounts, Council of Four, Hadara, Port Royal, Red Rising.
I would have probably guessed Hadara or Port Royal.
Okay.
But Port Royal probably not, just because you haven't played it in a while.
Yeah.
So maybe I would have thought this. Maybe I should have thought
I
this
knew from the first time you played it.
I didn't.
I don't know if you even. I don't think you were even.
I was
I don't
really
think you-
tired.
I think
the
you
first
were
time we played
very
it.
tired or sick or something. And then we got you to play
I
the
think,
game.
I think it was like one of those 2 a.m. type of plays.
We got you to play the game, and even being so tired, you said, "This is good." S word.
I don't remember that.
That is your quote.
Put it on the box, Jamie.
Yeah.
Such good effort.
Some random YouTuber. Yeah, no, I love this game, and I thought that Zach was a big Stonemeyer head, but I think at this point I am a bigger fan of Stonemeyer games
You
than
can
him.
kind of tell I wasn't wearing my Stonemeyer
Yeah.
merch.
So I
I
don't
was
even
thinking
have
that-
merch, but like
I
I
was
feel
thinking
like
you
I
shoulda.
should be the one wearing the merch
Should be.
these days because, yeah, I all of these are much higher for me than they probably are for you, other than Wingspan. And this game is just
Wingspan.
this game is just the creme de la creme of card games for me. I just love the way the cards work, how you score the cards, how you get the cards. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, I love it.
That is a great game. Great game.
They were all about it when it came out. They were all about it.
How
And
did it
then
not
they
make
got
your
some
list?
new games and they're like,
I said I have like 30 games here that I would say I love, and that is one of them.
I thought that would make your list, but disappointed in you, Pepper. This one it almost didn't make my list either, but because it was on that edge. But it is very
throw
solid.
it in with Charterstone.
I really love the
I
colors
haven't
in the
gotten
game.
to play
The
it
colors
in
are great.
months, like since July.
But do not. I would say you do not have to get the collector's edition.
There are
No.
probably mistakes with every single thing that they add. Sadly, but
But I do still like the gold
the gold
foil on the
even-
gold cards. That's pretty solid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I almost wish
I think
that
the
foil was on
intentions-
every single one of the cards.
The intentions
And if it
were
would have
good.
been, it might have been able to get rid of that.
Might have been.
Intentions were good, I feel like.
Yeah. I'm still glad.
I don't
we
think
got
it was
the
on purpose.
Deluxe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Jamie would never do that on purpose.
So my number one.
Oh, you didn't. I was gonna go make honorable
I'm like-
mentions. I was like, oh, we're done here.
I don't know. Like, I'm thinking, like, is
Completely
it
forgot about
Maracaibo? Is it Rise at Fenris? Is it Grand Austria Hotel? I'm like, just, I don't know. I'm gonna be shocked.
I'm
You're gonna be
surprised you
shocked.
didn't throw Rise of Fenris on here.
That was one of my honorable
You didn't throw
mentions.
that in there with the other two
Wow.
Stonemeyer games.
Oh shit!
That-
I totally forgot.
That one's so different from those two.
I totally forgot. Go back to my number 9
Rewind.
What is it?
and put Rise of Fenris with those other games above. Let me think. It's probably currently,
Wow.
since we haven't played all of Charterstone, slightly above that.
an hour and a half wasted.
Wow. Yes. Sorry. So, are we gonna do honorable mentions now,
No!
or my number 1?
We don't have time for honorable mentions.
Well, this game was a game that I used as a weapon against one of the people at this table. It is Risky Chicken, my number 1.
that's
Okay,
less believable.
She
than
did
that.
it way better.
Yeah. This guy,
Wow,
he's
wow.
always copying my
Yeah.
moves.
What? I don't even know what I could fool you with. Whistle Mountain was my number 1.
What the?
Wow, I did fool her. It is Maracaibo.
Oh wow, that's surprising.
My number 1 game, new to me game this
He
year.
loves this game.
I did not know you
Maracaibo.
liked it more than Dwelling.
Okay,
Well, they're even.
that's Dwellings should be number 1.
I gotta see this whole list in its
I might have
entirety.
switched it mid-list.
Wow.
Because of what you did.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. Because I was debating doing it. I was like, I feel like I actually, if I had to choose one and you guys would play it right now, I would probably choose that. So that's why, after you did that, I'm like, I should
He
probably
is making a statement,
I'm
as
making a
I
statement.
did.
I'm making the same statement. I'm walking a path that's already been beaten down for me, luckily. But no, Maracaibo is an amazing game. I love it.
He's got it hacked, too.
I don't even have it hacked. I don't know why you guys like to say that I have games hacked, because I do not.
Because you can't go to the table and not lose against you.
Well, I know for a fact, if I played other people that are actually really great at these
Only
games, I
time-
would get killed and slaughtered in these games.
I would like to see that. Taking applications, please.
Wow.
Come beat my husband.
Wow.
You are maybe a level and a half better than us in some of these games.
You're kind for
And-
including me.
Yes. Together.
He's like 2 full levels above me. Maybe
Well.
3.
And whenever we would play it to get better, you're going to be playing it with us and getting better too. So
Yeah.
there is no chance for us to ever.
Well,
beat
you guys could. I mean, she likes it, so you guys could play it and practice up, and then you'll be better than me, and then I'll never be able to catch up.
Hoping he wouldn't think of that.
But no, I just love the going around to different actions, but then the fact that you can kind of force someone to not maybe take as many actions as they were hoping to do, because
Yeah.
That
Once they
does
get to the
sound
end.
fun for them.
once they get towards the end, you have to be thinking, oh gosh, I only have like maybe 2 more left. Which actions do I need to take this round yet? Because at this point, I know they're not going to take any more. I really love that. And like I think I've mentioned before, possibly, I don't know if I've mentioned it in a video or not, but just that placing of the workers to give yourself special things that you can do on islands as you visit them
Yeah.
is just something that's
The assistant.
really, really, it's probably my favorite thing in the game, is just that you can
Super
make it your
helpful.
own.
Yep.
And I don't even know how to describe, because it's not even like a variable player setup type thing, but it feels similar to that. But it's
Yeah.
happening during the game. It's changing during the game what you can kind of do versus other people, and I find that really satisfying.
It is. It's
Yeah.
very satisfying.
Although with that, I stacked like 3 of mine on the same spot. That's just the cards that I ended up getting.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I only get to take 1 of these.
Yeah.
Right.
That part does suck a little bit. But
But yeah, I did enjoy it more than I thought I would. But it was not even close to consideration.
I didn't know. I really didn't know that you liked that.
How did I know that he loved it and know that you really liked it and neither of you knew?
I guess it's just because we haven't played it in a while.
We haven't,
And
but
I
it's
feel
just
like I was the one asking to get it out there. But I know you did play it with my brother, Zachary.
Mhm.
So,
well, yeah.
Mm,
I
yeah.
think like I said, that's probably the reason why I made the
Oh,
final
cookie dog.
decision. Not only because you also kind of decided that, but
Yeah.
just the fact that I actually would rather
Oh,
get that Maracaibo to the table
yeah.
slightly before dwellings. And Cookie, what are your top 10? Do you have the honorable mentions, Cookie? Would you like to read them? But yeah, so for some of my
Dog
honorable
pile.
mentions, Dog Pile.
Dog
Cookie
pie.
likes that one. It's her favorite one.
She likes Chase Me
She likes to play
and
chase.
Tug.
Quick, just to show off, I guess if you want honorable mentions, got Century, the 3rd one that we got. I think it's Endless World and Century Golem. I really love that one. That one would have probably easily made the list
Okay.
if we had played it more than once.
What's your honorable mention?
Mine?
Yep.
Grand Austria Hotel,
Okay.
I think, is my honorable mention, along with the Pulsar 2849. They kind of have a similar feel to me.
Pulsar's
yeah.
better.
I don't know. We just recently
We just
played
Grand
Grand
Austria.
Austria
I
Hotel.
think I like that one more.
What's
do
your
like it
next
slightly
honorable
more.
mention?
Cuzco.
Oh.
That's one I really enjoyed. Beautiful game. Under Falling Skies. I wanted to include that with the Omniverse for solo games, but I couldn't quite make that stretch. But that's right there as well. Raiders of Scythia. I just made it easier on myself because I had played Raiders of the North Sea. Too Many Bones. Only played it once. Cut that. Canvas. Abyss. Didn't make the list. Probably should have thrown it in with Conspiracy, but then it might be my number 1.
brother.
Silver and Gold. Ink and Gold. Suburbia that we just played.
Those are all very solid choices. I think I agree on almost all of those as well. don't think I've got. I'd really like to play Whistle Mountain as well. That one I was on, I just couldn't put on the list just because no one wants to play it at all. I don't know why. It's an amazing, amazing game. It's even by Luke Laurie, which is Dwellings. I don't know why you won't play it some more. Come on, Pepper. But yeah, other than that, I also like Dune Imperium and Maglev Metro.
Yeah.
Were two very solid ones.
Yeah,
as well.
Maglev's great. Endeavor. Yeah.
Yep. I just put Rise of Fenris and
Tumbling Dice.
I had
Tumbling Dice.
I did have Tumbling Dice. Nidavellir, Cubitos, Seven Wonders Duel.
Cubitos. Thought you said it was neat.
It is neat. In a good way.
I know what that means.
I know what that means coming from you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. It was not a strong 47 games that I learned.
This was a strong year. For me, maybe the best year. I didn't think anything could top 2019 with Wingspan, Dinosaur Island, Tapestry, Rajas, Ethnos, Quacks of Quellenberg, Bunny Kingdom. But I think this might tie it and might even beat it.
Yeah, it's a very solid year. Looking at it now, I think it might be slightly worse, but it's very close. It's very close to that. I think this year is a lot stronger than the New Dust games from last year for me as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are our top 10 New Dust games of 2021. Were there any of those that were new to you? Or what's your top new to you game that maybe you hadn't gotten a chance to play, maybe a 3-year-old game or something, right, Cookie? Dogpile, maybe. Leave it in the comments below if you've got your favorite new to you game.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, we really appreciate it and all the support for our
Oh, wait
channel.
a minute. We made a huge mistake. We were supposed to wear our Christmas sweaters.
We're going to have to reshoot.
No,
Turn off the camera where we started.
no, boys, we done with this. Thanks for watching. Thank you for the support. Go check out our channel for everything else we do. To keep up with us, like and subscribe to know what we're putting out all the time, every week, twice a week. And anything else, boys?
Yeah, let us know if you want to have us make any more videos on any of the games we mentioned, because we obviously love them enough to make some additional content on those games specifically.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
Don't forget,
Two.
keep on nibbling.
on our content.
Wow.